Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning. Oh, you guys know the drill. You guys know what's up. It's Toriko time. We here. Because Toriko is here. Listen, I gotta say, man, this chapter, a few things caught my interest, obviously. The whole jet thing, I thought was amusing. Very amusing. I'm like, yeah, like, this is, first of all, if you haven't seen my live reaction, this corner right here, bam. But the whole jet thing, I think, is very amusing. I like the fact that you have a scientific foreground to the actual jet attacks. The skin respiration, and it's the inhale and exhale is more or less like a jet engine or a jet plane. And because it differs between translation, between manga stream and batoto. So, thing here is that was fascinating. Just the fact that the very act of taking in oxygen, it gives Toriko's attacks far more velocity than they previously had. Far more velocity. He did a fork that went into space. And it was gone. I'm like, phew. And when it comes to the MUGEN KUGI, now this, we can't confirm if it's actually Mugen, if it's actually infinite. And the thing here is that there were a lot of folks who I saw in the comments section, they weren't too pleased about the fact that Toriko, in essence, one-shotted Shigematsu. But then I remember seeing someone respond to one of the people, to one of the folks who were commenting on that. And then this person, it was funny, because he was like, or he or she was like, well, I don't know about a one-shot since it's Mugen. He's getting continuously hit. This shit's infinite, so technically it's not a one-shot, it's an infinite shot. And I'm like, yeah, that's a solid fight. It's not really one shot. The two dudes before, they got one shot. It was Toriko. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, those are one shots. Mugen ain't no one shot. So they got a point. But in essence, my main problem here isn't the fact that Shigematsu got taken out with, per se, the Mugen itself. It's the fact that the Mugen is now. And I'm like, if the Mugen's now, that means that there's going to be, and it sounds kind of weird because it's infinite, but if Toriko gets the right arm of red, then he has double Mugens. How does that, like, how do you have double infinite? It's infinite. It's kind of weird. And then it's the fact that blue's stronger than red. Like to me, the Mugen was something to be expected for the end of the series, because it made sense to me. And in my mind, a Mugen would be something along the lines of, okay, I can Kugi you out of fucking orbit, and you just go forever. Literally forever. The punch continues. That occurring now, per se, because he didn't really go forever. At some point, the angler birds, or the, whatever they're called in the manga stream version, they just grabbed Shige and ate him. They ripped him to pieces. And as far as we know, the pieces, they weren't Kugi'd. So once the main body got ripped apart, the Kugi stopped, as far as we know. So that probably means that if Toriko gives someone a Mugen, a Mugen, I don't know the hell that. If Toriko gives someone a Mugen Kugi, and this person has the ability to, let's say, split apart their body in a certain way, or like dematerialize, they can actually avoid the effects, the after effects of the Mugis, of the Kugis, okay? They can avoid getting continuously rend. So, my whole point here, that's my main two problems with the Mugen Kugi punch at this point in time. Is number one, the fact that it's happening this early, and number two, is the fact that we don't know if it's truly infinite. Again, if Shigematsu was out of here and we see, like, shots of him towards, like, the end of the arc, where he's and he's still getting Mugened out of fucking, like, in, like, other planets and shit, if he goes that far, then, okay, yeah, now we're talking. That'll be some actual solid evidence. So, as far as we know, it's just a high-ass Ren. Like, somewhere in the thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, perhaps billions. But it's not, like, infinite, as far as you know. So, then brings upon the whole Toriko and Teppei bout, which was short, but it was pretty sweet. Again, you have the whole jet attacks going on from Toriko's end, fantastic. And then you have, and there were folks who were arguing about the two series, and I was like, they each have their own points. They each have their own strengths that make them what they are. Let me leave it at that, alright? One series has its ups in a certain category, another series has ups in another category, and that continues for a whole set of categories. But the thing here is that I think it's actually Mitsutoshi's way of paying homage to his friend. I mean, because they're friends. Let's keep it real here. They always do shit together. They always have, like, these collaboration series and so on and so forth. So yeah, they're friends. So it's not a big deal. It really isn't. I was just making note of that. But what I do like was where he actually, Teppei, when he was overwhelmed and the arm got blown back, he slid into, like, some kind of, like, space pocket. So this whole back channel or the secret channel, again, it depends on the translation, either Mangshim or Batoto. Thing here is, that is, like, the way they described it, how he took Komatsu's heart. Like, he just squished it, and then he took it, like, with him. And then this prevented the organs, or this prevented the tissue surrounding the wound from regenerating. This back channel concept is very similar to Hungry Space, and that's kind of scary, man. That's really scary. Like, wait, so he, I mean, because it's a strange concept, too. Because if these back channels, or if these secret channels, passageways, lie everywhere in the gourmet world, and they can only be utilized by, like, let's say, a select few folk, then these people can actually utilize these channels as method of certain attack types, where they can completely remove one's, like, a certain part of the body, and it can't recover because it has ties to these back channels or these secret channels. Furthermore, now there's, like, this forever lingering sense of danger, because you don't know when Teppei is going to appear. Like, and let's keep it real here. I'm not going to say that these back channels lie everywhere in the gourmet world, but they probably lie in a lot of spots. Or maybe the back channel itself is like an ability. Again, I'm not too sure. Either it's an actual system that lies within the gourmet world, unbeknownst to most, and only a select few can actually utilize it for not only escaping, but also for attacking as well, like Teppei did. Or it's an actual ability of Teppei's and certain people that lie, that exist, or creatures that exist in the gourmet world as well. Again, not too sure. But the point here is that now we don't know if Teppei can, like, appear and just start attacking the main party whenever he so chooses to. Like, do, like, guerrilla-type tactics and just come out of nowhere and assault and then bail and then cause more damage and then come back at some random point in time, when like they're sleeping or so on and so forth, because they can't sense him. They can't sense him. And even though in the Toriko verse, they do have some degree of like precognition, it's not like full-on precog, where they can see clear, distinct events into the future. More or less, their precog ties with the whole, oh well, I have the image of you dying in my mind. I'm gonna do this pre-shot routine, and then that image in my mind, you're gonna see it too before I actually attack you, so that I can actually like anticipate your attacks and dodge some certain way before you actually send your attack flying at me. Again, that was one of the main premises in the whole Stajin versus Toriko fight. So Teppei has now become a real threat. He's become like a real problem, a real pain in their asses now, to say the least. Because he can just appear out of no. I mean, maybe Joa can do it too. Very possible. Very possible. So we'll see how that rolls out later on. And then we go to the part, and it's not really like confirmed, but when you have the flashback of Toriko talking to Mansum before Shigematsu actually passes away, and then he gets consumed by the angler birds, and he thinks about Ichiryu. The whole talk about how Umen, Teppei, and Shigematsu were all, their thoughts, their taste was changed by Joa. Thing here is that I got a feeling that maybe that actually applies to all of Joa's subordinates. So in essence, the Bishoku Kai and the Saiseiya and all those folk who are on Joa's side are not really on Joa's side by choice. Joa just manipulates those who she feels are going to be an asset to her on her quest of getting God. So it's very possible that the foundation of Neo is actually far flimsier than we first perceived. Very possible. And finally, last point, we're going over to Area 7. Pair! Oh, yeah! And oh, yes! And listen, it is kind of early. Keep in mind that the next arc hasn't started yet. They still have to like leave this continent and go over and do that kind of stuff. But they're leaving really soon, give or take either next chapter or the chapter after that chapter. They're probably gonna actually like be on the Area 7 continent. And plus, knowing the Toriko verse, there's probably gonna be some type of danger beforehand. Like when it came to Toriko, Yuto Island is a good example. Yuto Island, and then there was a whole danger with the wheel dudes. What were they called? I forgot what they were called. The wheel guys. So the point here is that it's not immediate in my mind, but it's happening very soon. And this means that we're going to have a whole new threat. And unlike the lone monarch of the Area 8 continent, we're going to have a bunch, I'm assuming a bunch of 8 kings in this particular continent, the mountainous continent, or the continent of mountains, something like that, or the continent, mountain, continent, whatever. And I'm like, yo, because pear is known as the food jewel, and it has the moniker, the drop of both sides, according to Manga Stream. So what guards this thing? Because, you know, normally it's an 8 king. And it can't be Deirous, the Dragon King, because he's Area 4. We know, Area 4, this dude, 1-2, he's waiting. He's like, yo, like Toriko and friends, I'm waiting. Or he, them, they. Because, again, Heracles was the lone monarch by himself. We can assume that when it comes to the other 8 kings, they're not by themselves. And plus, when it comes to the Battle Wolf, my assumption is Battle Wolf God. That's my immediate assumption. That's my forever assumption. Though, it'd be odd if it was like, let's say, Mother Snake. Because I would assume Mother Snake Earth. I would assume Emperor Crow Adam. That's just my assumption. Given the context of what each of the well, except for Zebra, what each of the Heavenly Kings want when it comes to their end goal. So I'm thinking maybe it's either the one that looks like an ape, mountainous region. Well, I don't know. Like, apes and mountains doesn't really fit. Apes and jungles, yeah, that fits. Apes and mountains? And then one person said that there was one that looked like a tiger. Not too sure. Now, if it was Emperor Crow's, okay, yeah, we could, you know, Emperor Crow's mountains. Okay, I can see that. But the problem here is that we're going for pear. We're not going for Adam, which has ties to Coco. So my assumption, Adam, Emperor Crow, Coco, not pear. So it's probably one of the ones that we don't know. And it's probably either, if the one is actually a tiger, then let's say the tiger one. I'm not too sure though, but we'll have to see. And it's gonna be OP as fuck. It's gonna be disgusting. All right, this thing is gonna either have insane speed, insane abilities, massive strength. Something's gonna be insane. It's gonna be jaw dropping. Like, this thing is gonna move at like FTL speed, some shit like that. I don't know. Don't know. Well, no, that's probably the Battle Wolf, because the Battle Wolf is fat. It's known for its phenomenal speed. But either way, that's it. That's it. I'm done. So let me stop theorizing and fanboying. Let me call it a review. The chapter overall is simple to a certain degree, but it's huge in what well, first of all, we're initiating a new arc. Then you have Toriko actually have a new scheme of powers. Though the Mugen at this point in time, again, Shigematsu isn't really one-shotted because he's getting infinitely shotted with Kugis, but still, is it really Mugen? That's the question. So that's it, I'm done. The chapter rating overall is going to be a good plus to great, and I will see you guys later. You know what, fuck that, great plus. And I will see you guys later. King of Lightning, yeah, I just jumped at a whole new fucking scale because I can. Rate the video, comment, subscribe, peace, have a nice day.